Hello, I'm Shannon Borg, and I have written a musical, romantic comedy, full-length musical called Manifest This! Exclamation point. And I'm looking for people who can help me with the music for this play. So I'm going to share my screen. I'm going to read through the play and show you a screen share of the scene setups. So I have this kind of all in one document. So anybody who's interested can come back to this recording and look at the play and look at the song list, the scene setups, ideas, and then the script itself. So thank you. Okay, here we go. First, I'd like to go over the song list really quick. So this is the name of the play, and I wanted to be clear about a few things at the beginning. First, there are probably about 15 songs, and I wanted to give you just a quick background on why I wrote this musical. I used to live on Orcas Island, and I'm a writer. And my friend and I used to always just joke around. My friend Garland Withers and I used to joke around that like we all the crazy things that went on and the people we met should be in this musical that we're writing. So we weren't really writing a musical, but we just thought, oh, this should be in the musical. And then we started naming it and naming characters. And eventually I just decided to write the musical. I've written 3 books and I've written for magazines and I've written a lot of things, but this is the first time that I've written a musical. So what it came down to was I was listening to NPR and heard an interview with Jack Vertel, who wrote a book called The Secret Life of the American Musical, where he goes through many musicals and breaks them down into the format of the classic American musical. And I thought, oh my gosh, okay, if I'm going to write this, I'm going to use his format. So I got his book and I studied it, and that's how I set up this play. He has produced plays like Rent and The Producers and in New York. And so, of course, and he taught at Columbia. So he's a very experienced producer. I hope that gives you a little background. So here's my song list. And I want to say that these notes first. There could be dance in any of these songs, but the main dance numbers are, and these are the names of the songs: Your Money's No Good Here, The Baby Cut Carrot Controversy, Holy Sheep Festival, which is a Bollywood number, hopefully. Then also Deer in Headlights, which is the ballet sequence, and maybe You're a Grown Up / Live Like a Local. So, and then of course the finale. So those are the main dance numbers. The only song that is actually complete in here, actually well, just one, that's not written by me, is called One Lane Bridge by Carlos Camblor, who used to live out near Dobe. And he said we could use the song, and I'm going to contact him. It's been a couple years, but his song is on YouTube, so you can go and see that if you're interested. It's a great song. So all other songs, the lyrics are by me, except Sleep in Your Teardrop, which is by my friend Kevin Forehand and myself. So here we go. The songs are in Act 1, Dream Island, which is kind of the intro music. It's the main character, Rachel. She's on the ferry. It's dreamy. She's asleep and awake and having a vision of her dead mother. Okay. Number 2 is when she gets off the ferry. It's called Your Money's No Good Here, and it's an up-tempo song about life on the island. 3 is called America, and it's between 2 of the characters, Walter and Serafina. It's funny and up-tempo. 4 is In This Boat Together. This is Walter's ballad, and it shows his vulnerability. Act 2, One Lane Bridge, is kind of a raucous guitar number, and that opens, I believe, Act 2. Jake, who's a traveling musician, sings this. Then Sleep in Your Teardrop is a very twangy country number by Jake. And then also the next one, Rachel and Jake sing together. It's Dream Island / Walking the Trees or Under the Trees. And they sing about in the orchard where she lives and where he lives. Then the next one is at the farmer's market. It's called Three Jobs and Three Houses. It's up tempo, and it's with George, who is a female farmer, and Snakewood, who's a lawyer and an octopus, by the way. Um, the next song is Come and Go. That's Snakewood's ballad to show his avarice and greed. Then the next one is the Farmer's Dance, called the Baby Cut Carrot Controversy, with George and the Farmers. It's kind of like West Side Story with the Sharks and Jets, but this is farmers in overalls. And then the Holi Festival, the Holy Sheep Festival. It's an Indian Holi Festival Bollywood style dance number with sheep. Then there's the intermission. Act 3 is, it starts after the intermission with the ballet dream sequence called The Deer in Headlights, and that's the love song between Rachel and George. Then Wait for the Magic by Serafina, or with Serafina, who's a Selkie, by the way, and Rachel, and that's a slow ballad. Then there are 3 songs sung in the tavern. One is What's Your New Name with Walter and Rachel, and then You're a Grown Up, and then You're Live Like a Local. And finally, Driftwood, which is kind of the last build up to the final finale. It's a ballad, a trio ballad. And then the finale is Dream Island, Live Like a Local, and the wedding sequence. And then that's curtain. Okay, so here we go. Here are my slides and the script. So this is Manifest This, a rock opera of Orcasian proportions, or an opera for the rock by Shannon Borg, with music and lyrics by Shannon Borg, Kevin Forhan, Garland Withers, and Carlos Camblor. This is a romantic musical comedy about a magical island, a girl who almost loses the family farm, and the tribe that helps her find herself. So these are the characters. Rachel. Everyone has kind of 2 names. Hope that's not confusing, but they change into different characters sometimes. So I'm open to changes on this, but that's kind of how it is now. Rachel, female 30-something, rich, sheltered New Yorker who inherits the family farm on Quasar Island within a remote magical archipelago. Dolores, the mother monster, Madrona is her other name. She is Rachel's dead mother. Jake, or Elwood, he is a male traveling musician, poor, broken-hearted drinker. George, or Willow, is a female farmer, gay, Latina, woman of color from Texas. Walter, or Oakley, is a male ferry worker, cynical, divorced from Serafina, and lonely. Serafina, the Selkie, is a Selkie turned apothecarist, witch, divorced from Walter. Mr. Tamarack is the park ranger, old, tree-like. The lawyer, Mr. Snakewood, could be either gender. He is a lawyer, she is a lawyer and an octopus who comes from the city to foreclose on the farm. Oh, by the way, Walter, it doesn't say there, but he used to be a tree. Okay, so you're getting the idea. There are many transformations in the characters. Grendel Nodwink is Snakewood's assistant, short, stubby, inept, always getting distracted by food, good at heart, has to remember to be bad, and always dressed in yellow. The announcer is a male or female ferry worker, and Katie the bartender. All bartenders are named Katie on Quasar Island. Alistair Ruff-Hewn, the Scottish lager, plays the pipes, does weddings. Karaoke singer, sings one song, always the same song. At the tavern, the merry villagers are the butcher, the baker, the farmer, the smithy, the kayak guide, the artist, and the punk. Any ages. And dancers can be the merry villagers as well. Act 1, Scene 1, at Rise. Okay, so I'm going to go through the slides a little bit. The scene is curtains are closed. In front of the curtains, Rachel, dressed nicely in high heels, jewelry, nails, is lying on a ferry bench, asleep with her head resting on a funerary urn containing her mother's ashes. Beside her lies a half-eaten bagel, phone, headphones. Around her are scattered her bag, a phone, etc. To stage right, announcer. dressed like a ferry worker, stands in an area that looks like the inside of a ferry cockpit with wheel, windows, levers, holds a microphone to make announcements to the passengers or audience. Welcome to Quasar Island Ferry. Please take your seats. As you enjoy our journey, please do not leave your baggage unattended, as they may be stolen by seagulls or giant octopi. Please turn off your car alarms. The last time a car was stolen on the Quasar Island Ferry was 1952, when a domestic squabble resulted in the checkered bear family parting ways, half in the camper van, which was driven to the bottom of the Quasar Sea for an annual glamping vacation, leaving Papa Bear, who happened to be mayor of Quasar Village, to paddle his canoe home alone. Watch for wildlife, including giant woolly whales, the rare gold-plated crab, and the giant violet octopus, which is friendly unless provoked, but be warned, he will charge for photographs. In the unlikely occurrence of a land landing, please jump overboard, keeping in mind that you may be invited to dinner by the Queen of the Mermaids, who is always happy to make a pot of oyster stew, but will expect your sworn allegiance. Make yourself comfortable and enjoy the ride. Lights go down. Blue light on Rachel. No, Ma, I'm okay. It's like she's talking to her mother on the phone, but in her sleep. No, Ma, I'll find a way to pay rent. Ma. She rolls over. Ma, I'm gonna make more money someday, Ma. I'll be fine. Stop stressing me out. You always say there's a world where everything's not wrong. You always say there's a world where life is a. You always said there's love there in a world where. Dolores. Moody light comes up on the announcer, which has changed into Dolores, Rachel's mother, in monster form, with the ferry worker's vest on. Rachel comes to a bit during this, rubs her eyes, holds her hand out to her mother's ghosts, sings to a lullaby tune. Dolores, come aboard, my darling. Get ready to leave the crazy. Come aboard. Don't let your soul be lazy. This is all to music, by the way. So this can be kind of, Sondheim. I'm I'm homage to, right? There's tune and there's music behind all of this, and there's singing. Mama, no, you're turning into a monster. Dolores, scatter me among my friends in the Quasar Sea, where I can find peace and tranquility. Mothers are supposed to be practical. Mothers are supposed to be scared. You were always so tactical about being irresponsible, about doing anything you dared. Dolores, in the sunsets, on the beaches, happy mermaids sigh, why wouldn't I? That's practical. Why shouldn't I? I found myself in the waves in the trees, among the eagles in the sky. Clouds floated by and I heard the siren song. I was scared, but I dared. Rachel waves her mother off and goes back to sleep. Turns anxiously. Dream Island, that's what you always said, Mama. I should dare, that's what you always said. Home is nowhere, but I'd go there. Where do I belong? Kind of wakes up, keeps singing. To a strange island, in a strange life, and where do I belong? I'm scattered and I'm scared. Dolores, scatter me and your life will come together. Dream Island, scatter me, your sadness will fall apart. I found myself, I'm not crazy, but don't let your soul be lazy. She wags her finger, and don't leave your baggage unattended. Rachel, still asleep, starts when the horn blast announces their arrival. Wah! So there's the mother appearing. Scene 2. Lights up. Sunrise colors on ferry landing, Quasar Island. There's a truck parked, empty, but back is full of boxes of produce, waiting in line, followed by 2 cars. Clank, 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 chains, cars starting, revving. Hey, beep, beep, whines. Seagulls scream, bells, ding, ding. The ferry comes into the dock from the side. Guided by Walter, the ferry worker, arms up, waving it in, loud horn blasts. Announcer, Quasar Island, all ashore that's going ashore. Wah. Enter Jake, gets off the ferry with his guitar and rucksack. Looks around, yelling, hey, Jake. Just hitch a ride, they say. Just stick your thumb out, they say. A ride costs a story, a beer costs a joke. Sticks his thumb out, but people pass by. No one stops. He gets out, and a one-man band contraption ties cymbals to his driftwood staff. Mr. Snakewood and Grendel get off the ferry in the hustle and bustle of of the chaos, followed by Alistair Rough-hewn, the Scotsman in full kilt, carrying bagpipes and a keg of beer. They all bump into each other. Grendel holds 8 hot dogs for Snakewood, drops his hot dogs, and then picks them up, handing them one at a time to Snakewood, who is holding 8 briefcases too. Snakewood does some stage business to show he's the bad guy, mean to Grendel. Alistair drops his bagpipes with a groaning noise. They scramble to pick things up. Alistair looks at Snakewood's 8 arms up and down, speaks in a thick Scottish accent. If I had your physique, I could play 2 sets of bagpipes while kissing a lassie. They all gather things and shuffle off. Enter Rachel in her car. Ollie, and she's on her phone, of course. All I had was a bagel today, and I'm telling you, it was no Zabars. I'm 2 minutes on this island, and already my nails are filthy. And I had the most horrible dream. My mother was a monster. Boy, do I have baggage. She told me not to leave it unattended. Enter Serafina, walking off, carrying 2 carpet bags. Stops to catch her breath, coughs a bit. Hey, hugs a friend. Enter George. She's in her broken down pickup filled with produce. George is in line first. Then when they have to call the cars to drive down, she's late, so she runs back. So all the cars have to go around her. When she gets to the bottom, Walter says, and the first shall be last, and the last shall be first, and takes her ticket. Sorry, Walter. Walter, go, my child, and sin some more. George laughs. Walter waves her on, but Rachel is stopped in the wrong place, and Walter didn't notice. George almost drives into her head on. Hey, Rachel, hey, Walter, hey, lose the phone. Waves at them furiously and gets Rachel's truck off and George off the ferry. Rachel, left in her car, gets out, takes the urn, setting it on the hood of the car. She leans back and looks at the urn. You said there's a world where everything's not wrong. You said there's a world where life is a song. Well, it's not here, Mama. Dream Island, your dream island. Yeah, right. She munches on a half-eaten bagel and looks at her nails. Jake looks around at the end. He's at the other end of the stage. Hey, throws his arms out like, why is nobody giving me a ride? And starts to walk towards Rachel. Hey, what's that? He picks up the urn. Rachel stops him. Don't drop it, Jake says. I'm not going to drop it. What is it? Rachel, who is it? Jake shoves it back into Rachel's hands. Who is it? Rachel, that's my mother. Well, don't drop it then. Don't drop her. I'm not going to drop her. Thank God the airline saw her as an it. Otherwise, I'd have to pay an extra $500 to get her a plane on the seat. A seat on the plane. Jake, whoa, show some respect. That's your mother in there. Well, what could I do? I'm ahead of myself here. Why did she have to go all zen in her last 10 years? Why couldn't she have gotten all mystical about Coney Island instead? Then I wouldn't have had to use up all my vacation time. I'm going back to 700 emails. She used to say, strange and magical things happen on this island. She was right, and I just want to get out of here. Jake, it sounds like if it was up to you, you would have just tossed her in the East River. Rachel, like a mafia hit. No, her last wishes were for me to scatter her ashes out here. You know, a good beach around here. I'm going to do it fast and get off this godforsaken rock. Maybe over here. Here, hold this. Hands the urn to Jake, who holds it out with 2 arms like a dead body. She rifles through her bags. What's your name anyway? Jake says. I'm Rachel. Jake says, I'm Jake, but everybody calls me Elwood. I didn't ask, but okay. Long story. You want to help me with a funeral, Jake? It'll be the quickest funeral ever. Or Elwood, or whatever your name is. When does the ferry leave? Let's do it. Right here, right now. My mother always said, live in the moment. Jake said, you're just going to dump her out and get back on the next boat? I got a life in New York City. My mother loved it here. She found herself here where, well, I will find myself homeless if I don't get back to my job. But they're auctioning off my grandparents' farm next week, and then I'll be sitting pretty. Come on." She walks down stage right like she's walking down to a beach a ways, carrying the urn, but she stops short as she comes across what looks like a dead seal behind a hill of driftwood. Jake follows. Rachel, "Ew, oh my God, ew, what's that?" Jake says, "Don't touch it. You couldn't pay me to touch it. Maybe it's a baby whale." Jake, "It looks like," pokes it, "a seal. We should tell somebody." "Tell somebody? Who? There's nobody. Scientists or something. They might want to take it apart." Rachel, "It's 7 a.m. and there's nobody. Why couldn't she have wanted to be tossed into the ocean at sunset instead of sunrise?" Jake, "There has to be a paint park ranger or something." Rachel, "We just leave it. Come on. I'm getting this over with." Jake, "Of course we're going to leave it. What are you going to do? Carry it home in your luggage?" On the other hand, he starts to think the pelts of these things are worth a lot of money. People around here say they're magical. "You don't start in on me too." Jake, "I've heard there are selkies on this island, seals that come out of the sea to become humans." "What? You're crazy, dude. I heard that every 7 years they find their pelt in a trunk or on a beach somewhere, and then they have to leave their loved ones and go back into the quasar sea." He circles it. "They slip it back on and whoosh, back into the sea." "If I wanted to find a dead body, magical or not, I'd have stayed in New York, just walked down an alley and I could have enjoyed a scene like this. At least nobody's gonna jump you here, but you could use one of those high heels to fight back." Rachel, "They're not just high heels, they're Manolos, $500 a pair." "Wow, everything's $500. I know, right?" Now they're toast. "Maybe your mother was right. Strange and magical things happen around here. You stay here. I'm going to find the ranger." "Don't leave me with this thing." "Don't be a baby. I'll be right back. Here, she can keep you company." Shoves the urn into her hands and exits stage left. Walks around the pelt. Rachel looks at the urn, sits down on a log. "Magic seals, huh? Now I've got two dead bodies. Crazy to the end, Ma. Magical things happen if you open your heart, you always said. Well, I believe in just putting food on the table and Manolos on my feet. And then you die. I may be just a shell of a human being, but it works for me. And that monster thing freaks me out. Don't do that again." Light rises golden a bit. The fairy horn blows. "Oh God, there she goes. Well, I guess this is all one of your signs I should go visit the farm just like you wanted me to. I got bills to pay." "I guess I can't afford to stay a day or two. Then I'm out of here." She holds urn tight and walks back to the stage left to the ferry landing, stands by her car again with the urn on the hood. Jake returns to the beach area. "I couldn't find anybody. Hey, where did she go?" He circles the thing, then pulls out a bag, looks around guiltily, and proceeds to bend down and stuff it into his bag, then walks off stage away from the ferry landing. Enter Mr. Tamarack, like he's following Jake, out of breath. "Hey, kid." He looks around, takes a pad of paper, and starts writing. "I don't see anything. Hmm, something's fishy going on here. I can smell it. A silky pelt. Absconding with magical property. That's a $500 ticket." Under his breath as he keeps writing in his book and walks off. Scene 3. Scene 3. I want to remind everyone that the song lyrics and even the play itself is all up to revision. Anyone who wants to collaborate on this with me, on songs or rewrite song lyrics, use parts of them, I'm totally open to that. And of course, to give credit if anyone is going to be involved in that process. Scene 3. Back on stage left by Fairy, Serafina stands by her little table setting up her wares. Serafina approaches Rachel, standing by her car, urn on the hood. Would you like to experience a little local flair? Would you like to taste a little local fare? Rachel waves her off. I'd just like to breathe the local air. You're new here. Just a tourist. My grandmother's gone. She left me a farm. My mother's gone. She bought the farm. Gestures towards the urn. I'm at a crossroads. Should I stay or should I go, you know? You poor dear. I have something for you here. Pulls out a little bottle from her bag and a mirror, then looks at Rachel up and down and puts the bottle away. Pulls out some sparkly earrings. Rachel looks at it and shrugs. How much? Oh, your money's no good here. You buy with your mind. I'm kind of stupid, like she's bargaining. On this island, we trade laughter for a burger. Rachel hands back the earrings. I'm a vegetarian. It's coffee for kindness. I'm kind of an asshole. Croissants cost a smile. Walter walks by cynically. A ride costs a story. A beer costs a joke. But watch out, Morning Glory, or you'll trade your dreams for a smoke. Rachel and Serafina look at him. Serafina waves Walter away. Rachel looks through her jewelry and soaps, looks into the mirror. On the other hand, trying to divert Rachel's attention from Walter, if your money just sits in your pocket, how can it heal? Bring it out into the sunlight and you will reveal the meaning of manifesting your wildest schemes. Now tell me, darling, what are your wildest dreams? Well, I have been having some nightmares lately. Now, money I have. She pulls out a credit card from her purse. Plastic money, anyway. Walter cynically looks up, waving towards the horizon. Your hopes on the horizon, always receding. Build a boat out of dollars, a sail out of cents. Pushes him off. He's getting in the way of her sail. The wind will find you, so follow your bliss. Gung-coaling in the caves of your mind. Set an anchor, drop a crab pot, and manifest this. She holds up a mirror to Rachel's face as she says this. Rachel reacts as primps coming around to Serafina's sales pitch. Walter, your money's no good here, 'cause it magically floats away. No savings, no future for retirement day. So you get the idea. It's a song, but the story, all right? So I'm not singing any tune that I'm attached to. I'm just kind of giving you the idea that there's music. Serafina rolls her eyes at Walter, stirs herbs with a mortar and pestle. Herbs in a cauldron, a potion for sale, a special elixir to make you feel well. Made of Guy Island grown herbs collected in spring and the world's best plums. Plucked on the first new moon. Good luck will they bring. I need some of that. I have credit, I have stuff, but it never seems quite like enough. She starts looking through Serafina's stuff again. Walter's eavesdropping. I know what you mean. We call the mainland America, where they go to church at Costco and worship at Walmart, pour Red Bull in their coffee and their Cheerios, the breakfast of ex-champions. You know how that goes. Their kids are stars of soccer, football, booze, and meth. And oh my stars, they crush their cars and drink themselves to death. Serafino, life goes on fast in America. No one ever waves, no one ever saves anyone else. Freeways are the only place you ever see your neighbors whizzing by at 80, cussing at road ragers. Oh, they'll say they're out of here on the edge, but they say we're out here on the edge, but we feel quite centered. Walter, we're on the verge of crazy, of changes, of heaven. If we don't miss the ferry to go to Costco, to go to Walmart, Red Bull in your coffee and on your Cheerios, this is America Serafina says. Our America, where people cook real food, not languish in food deserts, where bare feet touch the earth, not anguish in shoe leather. Walter, what happens when everything goes, when Mount Confusion blows, when the White House becomes just an empty lighthouse, when the oceans boil with corporate oil, when the Orca sinks and everything we think we hold dear is gone, water gone, air gone, trees gone. Serafina, in answer, but still directed at selling to Rachel, there'll be a new dawn. Mushrooms will save us. Walter checks out of work, hangs his vest. From the mushroom cloud, he takes out a beer from his lunchbox and cracks it open. Seaweed will save us, Serafina says, from the corporate crowd. Where hugs last longer than tap, 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 she hugs the air. We'll find ourselves living life at the dinner table instead of watching Living Dead on cable. We'll find ourselves and not just on Google Maps. We're in this beautiful bubble. Wait for it to pop. We can't help but fail. Hard to break out of this jail. Hard to break out of America. Into America. Both. This is America. This is America. To Rachel, who's holding a bottle. Serafina takes it. You're not ready for that, my child. Ready for what? Serafina looks. Look into the mirror. Rachel looks. You're just not ready yet. Through pain, awareness comes. You gotta feel it. Through the rain, wisdom comes. You gotta heal it. Serafina hugs Rachel, but starts coughing like she's sick, pushes her away and turns away. Rachel looks up, almost crying. What's wrong? Serafina takes the bottle back and waves her off. Gives her the jewelry, takes Rachel's money. Rachel takes her things and gets in her car and drives off. Serafina coughs and staggers a bit, but counts her money and turns to Walter, angry. I know we used to be married, Oakley, but Walter, don't call me that, and don't bother the tourists. Serafina angrily gathers her stuff up. Back when you were, Walter, what? When I was what? When you were, well, sweeter. Walter waves her off. Stronger. You get older, wiser. You're not so good. You're not looking so good yourself. Kind of worried. Serafina, it's almost my time. When you were an oak tree, you loved me. Remember when I swam out of the water, laid beneath your branches, you sheltered me. I shed my pelt. And I turned human too. We did it together, Serafina says. She gently approaches him. I'll be an oak tree again when you finally leave me. I know, but while I'm still around, I just hate to see you. You used to play music. You used to sing. I just hate to see you. What? She gathers her stuff up, coughs, closes her bag. I just hate to see you. Walter, I just hate to see you too. Serafina yells, I know we were married, Walter, but that doesn't give you the right to mess with my business. Stuffs things in her bag, picks up her table and storms off. Walter yells after her, there's no selling magic to tourists at the ferry landing. Serafino, since when? Walter, since forever, or at least the 7 years you've lived here this time, trying to get away with it. She storms off. Walter's left alone. He sings, I was once an oak, leaning out over the water, strong like an oak, leaning out over the water. Now I'm like a stack of boards, waiting to cure, waiting to age, doing a job, missing out on my life, sometimes even missing my wife. Now I still look out over the water. I'm stuck, but I'm moving, moving, but stuck. They say we are in this boat together, but I'm always on the edge looking on. I know it's our fate. We made this mess together, but I still feel alone, sailing over the dark gardens of the Quasar Sea, the mermaids below singing to the squid and anemone, sea stars throwing themselves against the sky of waves, foraging through the forests of kelp, the night, the days, tattooed the memories on my arms. It's my fate to sail across these seas, to ferry them back and forth, the forward and back of their lives. Doomed to take them to hell and back to heaven and well, through storms, trying to avoid the shoals, my pocket full of sand and shell. The only payment I get for keeping watch over their souls, if all falls right through my hands. The sea is round. We try to stay afloat. Your sins are mine. My fate is yours. You can't back off this boat. We all die alone one day. Time stops for all. This boat is our fate. This ship of fools, taking us to an island of pleasure or pain, swirling through the blue, the octopus and lion's mane. Have seen it every time we've hurt ourselves, you to me to you. So hold on, I'll sail as true as I can under Orion and Little Bear, Big Dipper pouring down stars of love. If in the unlikely case of mutiny, or if we are boarded by woolly whales, or Walmart executives escaped from the jails, grab onto your brother, hold on to your sister. We are in this boat, in this fate, alone, together. Fade out. Act 2, Scene 1. Jake's walking along the side of the road with his guitar and bag, with a seal pelt, orchards and farms in the background. Rachel pulls up, keeps driving slowly. Hey, Jake says, you disappeared. I had to motor. You can keep walking if you want. Where are you going? Twin Cedars, I'm going to play open mic. But where's anybody going? Don't be snide. Oh, I've been on the road playing gigs, but it's peaceful here, a place where you could find yourself, you know? You don't remember where you put yourself? Very funny, ha ha. Where are you going? Nice ride. You must have already found yourself. This was my dad's. He's gone now. Get in. What's that smell? Is it that thing we found on the beach? Get it out of here, Jake says. Hey, it's worth a lot of money, and I need money. It's probably illegal. Now get out. Oh, come on. It's not far. Rachel says, sighs. Okay, I can't believe I'm doing this. Ugh, starts driving. If I wanted to pick up a vagrant and find 2 dead bodies, I should have stayed in Queens. Queens? I thought you lived in New York City. Whatever, surfer dude. I thought you were going straight back there. Well, I decided to stay for a few days, at least see my grandparents' farm. I guess my mom would have wanted me to. Whoa, that's cool. You own a farm? You know how much money those are worth? And how much money they cost to keep up? I'm not going to keep it. Live on this stupid rock? It's been being auctioned off next month. Bummer, dude. It's nice here. I was in New York once. They were filming an episode of Law and Order. Rachel rolls her eyes. Everybody's been to New York. I hate it there. Had to get the fuck out of Dodge. I thought you loved it there. I do. I'm from California. No shit. But I come up here sometimes in the summer. Running from the law, that's a schlep. I think I got me a selkie pelt and some selkie's gonna pay a pretty penny for it. You are nuts, dude. So I hear a ride costs a story. Sing me a song. He strums. This one's from my friend Carlos. He's a crazy old man living off in the woods. I hear there are a lot of those. Yeah, a guy built a boat on the side of a mountain. The Eagles are going to fly it down for him. The band? No, dude. Real Eagles, strums. Got off the ferry, left behind all those problems off my mind. Mainland's just a mess of badness, motherfucks and more. Bodie's Corner, Schaefer's Stretch, Fowler's Corner, the hardware store. Strange things hanging in the trees before you get to town. Don't stop for nothing, Crescent Beach. Then you're at Crow Paint Tank. Someone painted over something like they did before. Get up Flaherty's, pop your ears, and down Rosario. You're almost there. Just one more hill before you head back down. Can't wait to get off to my place. Got a whole cold one in the fridge because everything changes at the 1-lane bridge. Well, you got to play the hand your deal. Just cruising fast up to the yield. There's no one coming. Swing out wide and punch it through the straight. Left in Olga, love Buck Bay, a little further, Doe Bay way. Crunch of gravel means you made it. Don't forget the gate. Cross the creek and up the hill. You left the island against your will. Get back to your tiny cabin. Get back to your faith. Can't wait to get to my place. Got a cold one in the fridge, because everything changes at the one-lane bridge. If the waters rise and East Sound dies and the island splits in two, I won't cry. They can have their side. It's better just me and you. Can't wait to get to my place. Got a cold one in the fridge, because everything changes. Everything changes at the one-lane bridge. They pass over the one-lane bridge, and as they do, the light shifts and changes color. That's weird. A white deer with purple polka dots. A white deer runs across the road right in front of them. Don't worry, they're everywhere. Yeah, I noticed. Buck Bay, Doe Bay, Deer Harbor, Buck Mountain. They're magic. Everything apparently is magic. Where can I get a unicorn burger around here? Jake just shakes his head. So where are you getting out? I can't stand the stink anymore, and I'm not sure if it's the sulky or the surfer. Turn right here. Rachel screeches to a halt. Okay, let's see if I'm on my right scene. Okay. Screeches to a halt. Sets roll in, or curtains pull back to reveal the house on the stage on the left, on stage left, and the trailer on the right. Actually, I probably have that backwards. But this is my farm. My farm. What? Weird. I'm staying in my ex-girlfriend's trailer for a couple of weeks. That's my trailer, asshole. Chill out, dude. I guess she's your farmer too. Well, really, it's the bank's farm. Ma wanted me to come out, but I could never find the time. But if she's living here, taking care of the place, yes, I guess so. I've never met her. Never met George? George? That's a dumb name for a girl. Who does that? You better get over it if you're going to be staying here with her. She's cool. She's gay, though. I thought she was your ex-girlfriend. That's Quasar Island for you. Magic. Well, it's my place, so she better keep her hands off me. You don't need to get all aggro, dude. Ugh, you're so no-cal. Jake, you're so Jersey girl. Shit, Jersey girls say, I'm so drunk. Rachel, I ain't from Jersey, Buttlick. I'm from New York City. I thought you hated it there. I do, but I'm from there. I earned the right to hate it. Do you hate it here too? People are too nice here, Rachel says. What's wrong with being nice? It's creepy. It's like ordering an everything bagel, biting into it, and finding out it's a cinnamon raisin. Or the other way around. But who orders cinnamon raisin? Who does that? Jake, well, you'll be drawn into the vortex soon enough. The vortex? This island's a center of magnetic, energetic connection karma, man. Fuck out of here. That's New Yorker for get the fuck out of here. Ha. For reals. Just like my hood, Rachel says. I miss the hookers. I miss the crack houses. Now everything's a yoga studio or a Starbucks. Fucking hipsters. Jake, you'll see what I mean. Act 2, Scene 2. He gets out and slams the door, standing in front of the trailer. Rachel gets out and walks to the house as a curtain moves back to reveal the house or room on stage and the trailer on the other side. I think this is Rachel. He says, you going to the sheep festival? Rachel says, I hope this place has some good bars. She takes out bags and walks into the house. Jake sets down his stuff, looks into his bag, takes out the seal pelt, thinking, lays it out on the lawn, picks up his guitar and sits down on a log outside the trailer. On the other side of the stage, Jake, and then he sings this twangy country style song, picks a little bit, goofing around. Sitting in a lawn chair, picking out a country rhyme. The birds are flying overhead, pooping in my country time. Got 12 cents in my bank account, been doing the best I can, but that check bounced so high the first time, it couldn't help but bounce again. The cops pulled me over for going 5 miles an hour. Officer, I was just trying to decide if I should have another whiskey sour. Then more serious picks and strums like he's trying to write a new song. Nowhere to go, stars swirling above. Nowhere to go, your farm's full of love. We had something once under these same stars, under this moon, but I kept walking past your gate. Didn't think I was good enough, didn't think it was my fate. Now I've had a few since then, drinks, girls, and cars. Come to see what I lost, gain a few more scars. Nowhere to go but inward and backward and downward. Mercury's in retrograde, and so am I. Can I sleep in your teardrop till I figure out this guy? Finally, totally, magically, fundamentally, till I finally figure out what I gotta do. In this little tin can, the trailer type is called a teardrop trailer, so obviously. Um, I got everything I need: a bed, a sink, an icebox, a shelf to keep my books and weed. I put my boots under a few beds. I tossed back a few bottles, wrote a few love songs, slept on some couches, lounged in satin sheets, cabin boyed a few ladies on hoity-toity yachts, was in a band with groupies, tossed back a few dozen shots. But all that got me was notches on the bedposts of life, stickers on my guitar case, blue tattoos fading on my arm. Now I'm trying to slow down, remember who is me. Can I sleep in your teardrop till I know what I need to be? I don't need the whole ocean, I just want a small pond. Let me sleep in your teardrop till this aching is gone. I'll be no trouble, I can even mow your lawn. Sit around and be quiet, just figure things out till the stars swirl around me and tell me what it's all about. Life is full of choices and I always cross the line, but all my worst decisions seemed like the best thing at the time. Nowhere to go but inward and backward and downward. Mercury's in retrograde and so am I. Can I sleep in your teardrop till I figure out this guy? Now I'm trying to slow down, remember who is me. Can I sleep in your teardrop till I know what I need to be? Light goes down. Light goes to other side of stage, interior farmhouse. The urn is on a table in the middle of the room, softly lit. Rachel in bed. Sounds. A phone rings. A door slams. She sits straight up in bed. Pause it for a second. Rachel. Only a dream, only a nightmare. The shutting of a door, music from another room. I hear things in my sleep, the city pressing in on me. I thought it would go away when I came to this peaceful place. Sounds from another life. Which life should I be leading? Nothing inside me, no one to guide me. It's another me out there doing what is another me out there doing what I should do? I can't pay the rent. I can't buy the farm. I'm up to my Manolos in debt. Is that a nightmare? That big black horse in my dream? Is she just riding through my life, just waiting for me to hop on and gallop me away to that other life, to that other different life? Dream Island, my dream island, where there are no cares and no nightmares. Only friends and love, only fields and trees and sky above, rainbows and mermaids, unicorn, rainbow, mermaids. That's my mother's dream, Dream Island. I know that doesn't exist, that dream island in the mist. So much like this place, without the whirlwind in my head. Dream Island, my dream island, the storm in my head, the ditch in my heart. What land do I live in? Could I be happy? It's paradise here. Happy people, happy food, happy baby goats without fear. But my head's a mess, the nightmare's waiting. Maybe she'll take me away. A glass of whiskey, I won't have to think. It helps me sleep. Pour one more drink. Take me to the dream island where nightmares roam free. I'll hop on without a saddle. Won't remember a thing. Should I keep the farm? Maybe I should lose it. Could I make it work? Where do I belong? Can't I do it? Can I do it? Shouldn't even think it. Doors are slamming, arms are grabbing. No window to look out of. If I had a skyscraper, I could jump. My grandmother said, when I was sad, to think, think about love. Rachel walks out of the house and looks up. What are those lights in the sky? A city? It looks like skyscrapers. Planes passing over? Are they stars? She walks into the farm among the trees. This is the land where my grandfather tended his trees. This is the land where my grandmother carded her wool, shucked their oysters, brewed their brew. Among his sheep, her flowers grew. I came here as a child, but before I could remember, and as I grew, I couldn't find the time. Now they're both gone. Time has moved on. Gone are the minutes and hours they worked and fought for what they got. And here it is, and here am I. Do I want it? Does it want me? I've lost the bond between human and tree. She picks a plum and bites it. How do I get that back? I'm just a city girl. I know how to smoke. I know how to drink. I know how to act rich while being completely broke. Maybe I'll just work like they did in new ways, in new days. How did they know how to make a go? Did they listen to the trees? Did they hear it in the breeze? She sits down. The wind blowing through sounds like a song. No yelling, no honking. A door opens, a dream voice, clear and true. Jake wakes up a bit, picks up his guitar and picks a little tune. Less twangy. Now I am trying to slow down, remember who is me. Can I sleep in your teardrop till I know what I need to be? And then Jake and Rachel sing together on different sides of the stage. A dream, a voice, clear and true. Please help me, please tell me exactly, precisely what I should do. She falls asleep and the branches reach out to embrace her. Spotlights go down on both. Act 3. Sorry. Actually, yeah, Act 2, Scene 3. Perfect. The market scene. Okay. Day, sounds of thunder, lightning, town scene, Saturday market. George setting up her booth with signs says world's best plums. People coming and going. Mr. Snakewood, the lawyer, stands in the middle of the village green. He is an octopus in a suit with 8 briefcases. Grendel Nodwink, the sidekick, stands nearby. Busy day at the market, people coming and going. I thought this place was supposed to be mellow. There's so much going on. George, tourists. Are you a tourist? You look like you could be a local. My family's from the island, but I went off to see the world. Now I'm back to do a job. George says under her breath, I got 3 jobs to do. Want a plum? World's best plums, huh? That's what the sign says. Grendel comes and tastes one. Sighs because it is so good. Maybe later, Snakewood says. He ate 8 hot dogs on the ferry. I ate 7. Snakewood, can you redirect me to doe, a deer, a female deer road? He looks on his paper. I have business. Grendel, we're here to buy auction off a farm. Supposed to meet the owner there. Snakewood's arms grab him and pulls him back. To Grendel, keep your mouth shut, you dumpy lump of scrump. One arm hands her a card. George says in a nice voice, Oliver Snakewood, attorney at law, at your service for all legal matters. This is my trusted parallax, paradiddle, paralegal. Grendel Nodwink. Grendel Nodwink, at your service, cervix. He is short, looks at her belly button. He only comes up to her privates or is bent over, so that is what he's looking at. But hesitates like it wasn't a very good joke and moves back and hides behind Snakewood's arms, eating plums. At your service. George, you're here to what? That's where I work. That's where I live. The owner finally passed on and passed it on to their daughter. Are you a farmhand? 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 Ha! I'm a farmer. Where do you think those 8 hot dogs you came from? Grendel peeks out. A freezer? Good point. A cow, you nitwit. A cow raised by a rancher so you could eat. I'm a farmer and a server and a painter. I grow your food and serve your food and paint your 3 houses. Grendel, why do you have 3 jobs? To make ends meet, to make it rain, to save a penny, to ease my pain. They say people around here either have 3 jobs or 3 houses. I'm the three jobs kind of person. Snakewood, singing. Well, from my experience in the line of business, in my line of business, if you work hard enough. Grendel, you can make things happen if you work hard enough. Well, I do have two houses, and I'm thinking of buying myself a third. Become a gentleman farmer. I've worked hard enough. George laughs. But I'm still not buying your $8 plums. Slaps away with one of his arms Grendel, who is reaching for more plums behind George's back. Where's that girl? George, you're missing out, mister. Best plums on the planet. I'm not sure why I should help you, but Mr. Two Houses, One Farm, 7 hot dogs, 8 arms, 8 briefcases. I just got back on island. I haven't met that girl yet, but you'll probably find her at the sheep painting festival. The whole island will be there. Biggest event of the year. The Holy Sheep Festival. And Snakewood says, the Holy Sheep Festival? George, yeah, like an Indian holy festival where everyone tosses colored powder around, and this is our sheep painting day, where they paint the sheep so everybody can find their own. Holy Sheep Festival. Otherwise, every night, when people count them to go to sleep, they just fly right over fences and get all mixed up. Whatever color you want your sweater, green, blue, purple, and plaid, you better paint it now. See, there they go. 10 people dressed as sheep run past to the festival. You should have some fun. Snakewood, I don't want no fun. I'm here to do business. I got the paper in these cases, and all I need is a witness. Grendel lisps. Sorry about that. Grendel lisps. To these proceedings, undertakings of business. People start running all around him in white outfits, throwing colored powder on each other. Indian holy music playing. His arms start to come out and move to the music. Snakewood. And Grendel says, no, and Snakewood says, I've worked hard all my life, made some good choices. Grendel says, submitted some good invoices. Snakewood, no time to take a wife. Grendel, cut his losses, been in the right place at the right time. One house in the city, Snakewood says. One house in the country, Grendel says. And now I'll have one for weekends on Quasar Island. I can rent, I can resell, I can pay, I'll do well. Grendel, it's just business. Thunder claps throughout the scene. A person dressed as Indian Shiva with 8 arms stands to stage right. Colorful people gather around. George is watching. Okay, so this is the Holy Festival, Bollywood style, and here are sheep. This is in Scotland, or Ireland, both. So George is watching all this. Hoeing, planting, serving, running. It feels like I have 8 arms sometimes. Got to keep it going, keep it together, keep the money flowing. It gets in the way of my peace of mind. I've been a nanny, a hostess, a server, a cook. I've landscaped, I've manscaped. I should write a book. It took a long way to find time to find my way, but it feels like I got 8 arms sometimes. Keeping those plates in the air, keeping the plants in the ground, making sure I got enough to share, keeping my world going round. Snakewood's song comes in. Grendel, people come and go so quickly here. Snakewood, people come and go in and out of your life. You can't hold on to anyone or anything. People cause me strife. I want to hold them, control them. Grendel, but instead they come and go. I'll get my revenge. Resentment is the seed. I'll cast a spell. They'll grow hateful in their private hell. I'll buy that farm and make it mine. And grow some grapes to make some wine that I can sell, sell, sell. Well, I won't do it for myself, of course. I won't do it myself, of course. I'll hire farmhands. I'll hire a horse. They'll work for an hourly wage of $7.99 to work hard to take care of what is mine. You'll be a job creator. I'll make a bunch of money for later. Arms can hold, arms can rip apart. Arms can plant, arms can harvest. But arms can cut down forests. Arms can murder tourists. Arms can open a jar and send it crashing to the floor. pauses, like he catches himself, talking to himself. These feelings come, what do I do? Nothing really happens if there's no witness. These feelings come and go, people come and go. Money is always there for me. How do I know? As money is my witness, it just comes and goes. It's just business. So Snakewood steps back to the opposite side of the stage, and there's another one many-armed dancer on the side. So Mr. Snakewood is on one side and the dancer on the other side, like a Shiva. Sheep dance ensues. Enter the sheep, the people, merry villagers, a few deer and other animals. Serafina sells her wares. Walter is off to the side. Jake is playing the guitar, a one-man band. Everyone is dancing, the girls with colorful silk. Rachel walks up, looks on from the edge. Jake waves her in. George is dancing. Rachel is watching. Slowly, Rachel approaches. Jake's in the middle. George on one side. Hey, I recognize you. You almost killed me with your truck. Rachel says, you almost killed me with your vegetables. Everyone's milling around. Well, it was baby carrots. The Lovelanders love them. Baby carrots? Lovelanders? People on the mainland, George says. Lovelanders. They love our genuine, authentic baby carrots. They sell for way more than grown-up carrots. And they're way more authentic than baby cut carrots. Now that was a scandal. Baby cut carrots? What are you talking about? Well, if you're a rabbit, and you just gotta have it, well, you grab a baby carrot, of course. And if you're a Lovelander, there's not a thing grander than a genuine vegetable I endorse. But a Lovelander crowd started harshing our mellows, cutting down grown-ups to toddler size. They grew them real big, ground them way down right before our very eyes, and sold them as babies to unsuspecting fellows. So we went to court and sued their fake asses for messing with our good baby carrot name to pander to the masses. So now every label must state it quite clearly if it's a real baby carrot, and we check on it yearly, or a fake news carrot, all grown up and shaved down, and they better not dare it, or we'll have them shut down. A dance chorus of farmers with straw hats come in and do a chorus line style dance while singing. The chorus dancers sing the chorus that repeats, it's the baby carrot versus baby cut carrot. It's the baby cut carrot controversy. It's like the West Side Story kind of thing. It's the genuine vegetable, not a fake news chemical. The best baby carrot you will ever see. It's the baby carrot versus baby cut carrot. It's the baby cut carrot controversy, or something like that. Now, did you know your favorite Burger Duke's burger flown in from 1,200 miles away? Beef's from Dakota, tomatoes from Minnesota, and the lettuce from Oaxaca down Mexico way? They pick green tomatoes, gas them till they're reddish, ship those cardboard facos until the flavor in 'em's deadish. The beef's fed too much corn till the cows are so forlorn. They're fat as Donald Trump sitting on his rump, twittering fake news porn from midnight until morn. Don't fall into that pattern. Don't let your soul be lazy. Eat them real baby carrots. That fake news food'll make you crazy. It's the genuine vegetable, not a fake news chemical. Best baby carrot you will ever see. It's the baby carrot versus baby cut carrot. It's the baby cut carrot controversy. And the dancers dance off. Rachel, my mother said something to me like that once in a dream. George, what? In a dream? George, who's walked in from the side stage, and Rachel speak together in unison. Don't let your soul be lazy. George, hey, you're Madrona's daughter. Rachel, you knew my ma? Yes, we met when she came to visit, and she hired me to tend the farm. Well, you better whip that soul into action, because that Snakewood character said he's come to auction off that farm. I know, I have to meet with him. He's going to sell it to the highest bidder. That bidder may be him. What? George says, I think he's going to bid on the farm. That's illegal. He'll probably have one of his arms do it, or his stumpy sidekick. Snakewood says, stops his arm from dancing and comes forward. Rachel, are you Rachel Brobding-Nagenstein, the owner of the Doe a Deer, a Female Deer farm? Who's asking? I'm here to auction off the farm. Grendel hands him the paperwork. You might as well just sign it now. Jake comes up and whispers in her ear, don't sell it. The world's best plums and real baby carrots. Rachel's hard stance softens. What can I do? I can't keep it. I'm not a farmer. You can sign the bottom line, holding the auction contract up. You can't pay for this farm anyway. You live all the way over in New York City. You're a city girl, remember? George stops dancing. I used to be a city girl too, till I came here for just one summer and tasted an oyster fresh from the beach, tasted a plum straight from the tree, slept out under the stars, climbed Mount Confusion, watched the sunset from Mount Exit, drank beer with the boys at the Nether Regions Tavern, tasted the air and watched an eagle circle all around, then dove down and grabbed a chicken right off the ground. I thought, wow, this is living. So I decided to stay. They all say if you think right and work right and love right, the right things will happen, the right things for you. That's what my mother always said, Rachel says. But I don't even know what I want to happen. I want peace, not to worry about rent, the credit cards. She sits and takes her high heels off. Friends, family, but they're all gone. And now I'm here on this strange island with these strange people. I think I just want some peace and quiet. Looks up to the sky. Ma, I just don't know what to do. Dolores comes in from the side. Oh, we missed the baby cut carrot controversy. There we go. Dolores says, don't let your soul be lazy. I'm not sure of anything anymore. You are a monster, Mother. I guess you have some mother baggage, huh? Now I think I was just jealous. It's not easy, Madrona. Dolores says, I know, honey. Just don't leave your baggage unattended. Snakewood. Well, you better figure it out fast, Missy. You have 1 month to raise $103,457.85 down payment. Grendel. Back mortgage, back taxes, property taxes, utilities and escrow, or the auction goes forward. His tentacles push the paperwork, briefcases, and pens into Rachel's face. Just keep your tentacles to yourself, Snakewood. That's $103,457.85 for down payment, back mortgage, back taxes, property taxes, utilities, and escrow, or the auction goes forward. Rachel puts her head in her hands. George circles Rachel, dances around her. Rachel looks up, raises her hands. They embrace. George hands her a plum. Don't worry. Things are going to be just fine. No matter what, you are alive right now. Rachel looks up at George and eats the plum. She looks transformed. Rachel and George kiss. Dolores, Madrona, looks down in approval. They join hands and start to dance slowly. The holy sheep dancers surround them. Intermission. Act 3, Scene 1. Day, the town. Detritus from the festival is all over. People pass to pick things up. A stray sheep painted with neon pink or orange paint trots across the stage. Thunder from the last scene finally comes to rain. Enter Rachel, stage right. Enter George, stage left. They are both wet and wrapped in white splattered with color from the sheep painting festival. Hey, George says. Hey. That was the first word you spoke to me. Hay is for horses. You should know. That was the first word you spoke to me. I never saw it coming. They circle each other in their blankets like a pigeon dance, following and leading, turning to follow and leading, then turning when the other follows. Song Deer in Headlights. Rachel. Never saw it coming. I was roadkill. Never saw it coming. It was over. Your truck revved out of nowhere, jam-packed with lettuce. Well, really carrots. I was on the road, packed up with a load of primo baby carrots for the market. You just got in my way. Rachel, I was running through my life. I was scared. I was running through my life. I didn't care. You hit me straight on. I didn't see it coming. You were kind. George, You are kind of a jerk. Rachel, still, you are kind. I tried to jump away, down Deer Harbor Point Road, Deer Harbor Road, up Deer Harbor Road. Other dancers come in, 5 dancers with deer horns and carrying single headlights. George, almost hit a deer once. She came out of nowhere. She got away. I didn't hurt her. They say it's not a matter of if, but when. Rachel, I tried to jump away, run away, out Doe Bay Way, out Buck Bay Way. I sprang up Buck Mountain, down Doe Meadow, down Deer Park Lane. I couldn't get away. A city girl in a strange world, a cocky witch landing on this rock. I didn't see it coming. I was roadkill. Didn't see it coming. Your big brown eyes followed me down Deer Point Road, across Deer Valley. My beating heart forded Baby Deer Stream, down Doe a Deer, a Female Deer Avenue. You turned me into a girl who can feel, who's not afraid of the dark. You turned me a little bit country. You turned me into an animal, at one with the forest. I'm not just a tourist. With you, you turned me into an organic, grass-fed, meat-eating girl with an elegant, down-home farmhand twirl. You turned me into roadkill. Never saw it coming. Never saw you coming. Well, homegirl, I gotta get back to work. See you back at the ranch. They kiss and George leaves. Rachel turns and curtain pulls back to reveal Seraphina's apothecary shop. So here's the deer kind of setup. See these people with, horns and the lights low. Okay, so the apothecary shop. Hello, Seraphina says. She turns to see Rachel as she enters. Oh, it's you poor dear. How's your mother? Still dead. She slams the urn down on the counter. Seraphina, oh dear, well, come right in. How may I help you? Rachel says, I heard through the grapevine that you were the one to see about a spell. Seraphina, a spell? Me? Oh no, I just have a few island-grown lotions and soaps. Don't worry, I'm a local now. Seraphina laughs. You've been here a month, dear. It takes decades to become a local. It took me 4 pelts, 56 years, coughs. Rachel, don't worry. I know all about you. I know you're a sulky. You do? Usually we don't tell Lublanders about that. Well, this guy told me when he found he found what? Rachel, nothing. Now listen here, you little Lublander. That pelt's been looking high and low for me. My 7 years is almost up and I need to find it or my sulky people will be very upset. Where are you from anyway? Rachel looks down in shame. Queens. Seraphina, you are? Me too. Queen of the sulky people. Wow. Like she can't believe Seraphina's that stupid. They don't have selkies in your queendom? They have a lot of things, but magical talking seals? Too bad, we're really very congenial folk, not like the fin folk or the octopi or the woolly whales or the oak folk, sniffs the air. Why can I smell it in here? There's no beach in sight. She starts looking around, out the window. Outside, Jake is peeking in one window and Grendel is peeking in another one. Now, where am I? When she says, where am I? She means, where is my pelt? It is a part of her. Rachel says, who? Meaning, who? Like she never heard of the oak folk or the fin folk before. The residents of our quasar sea, mermaids and mermen, wild checkered bears, the oak folk, they are troublemakers. I can't help it if I'm married to one. He was a tree until he met me. But no magical talking seals, no fin folk or oak folk where you come from? That's a shame. Rachel, I don't believe in magic. What? You can't not believe in magic. It's how things work. It's what makes the sun rise and the flowers open. They don't have magic at Queens? Well, maybe on Coney Island, but that's just technology. Yes, technology. Every 7 years, like clockwork. After I've lived a beautiful life, I find my seal pelt lying on some beach for the past 600 years. I put it on and dive back into the quasar sea, and in 7 years, it starts all over again. Like old-fashioned, wind-up clockwork technology, magic. She moves around the shop. I can smell it. Rachel puts the urn down and gets out her phone, tries to dial. What's that? Points to the phone. A cell phone, ever seen one? I'm trying to call my girlfriend. She told me you'd have a certain spell to help make certain octopus lawyer, less difficult to deal with. But there was no reception. Serafina reaches onto her long kelp hair and pulls off a shell and hands it to Rachel. Here, try this. A shell? Serafina. A shell phone. Listen. I heard a lot of strange things since I've been here, but you're nuts, lady. Listen, this shell once held a living sea creature, and now it holds an ocean. Rachel grabs it roughly and listens. We hear the ocean waves. The ocean, almost to herself. A sea creature, like a body and a spirit. She looks up like she gets it. The ocean. Exactly, reception. Well, around here, the ocean is a long distance call. Technically, we are in the quasar sea. I get roaming charges. Whoosh, ocean sounds again. Serafina takes the shell. It's probably my ex-husband, Oakley. We're divorced, but he still gets lonely when we don't talk. What? This magic stuff is throwing me. And talking into a cell phone to other humans on the other side of the earth, Serafina says. We hear ocean waves holds the shell up to her ear. It's for you. It's your mother, and she wants you to open your heart, she says. She grabs the shell and listens. Hey, I just hear waves. Anyway, that's nature, not magic. Anyway, my mother's dead, gone, right there, and she points to the urn. Although she's been following me around a lot, I got to get it together and scatter her ashes, shakes her head. Madrona. Serafina, what? Madrona. My mother's name was Dolores, but when she came here, she said people change their names to the names of trees. She became Madrona. I can pretend all I want, but outside, Dolores comes up and is peeking into the window. But she's still talking to you in her head, your head right now, isn't she? Rachel perks up. You got that right. She's been telling me not to. Serafina, let your soul be lazy? Why, yes. How did you know? Because I realized that your mother was a friend of mine, Madrona. You're Madrona's daughter. She told me all about you, New York, and that you work so hard and you're always stressed out. And sorry, Rachel. Well, that's pretty accurate, Serafina. She just wanted the best for you. Now I have more to worry about. That crazy lawyer. How am I going to keep the farm? For George, for me? Can you help me with some magic? Serafina. Well, I can give you a little bit of this, a little bit of that. When you're waiting on magic, it takes a long time for the stars to find you, for the planets to align. You get everything, bat wings and eye of newt. You keep everything steady, frog eye and mandrake root. Rachel. You get up every day and wash your face, blow out your hair, do the work, earn the money, but you're never quite there. Serafina. I've been in a cycle for 600 years, human for 7, with all human fears. Then I must return to find myself, my pelt on some beach. Rachel, still happiness always seems out of reach. Serafina, then one day something happens. You find the gold, you meet a wife. Just wait for the magic. It will show up in your life. Just work on making magic like the moons follow the sun. When your heart is ready, the magic will come. Serafina, here, take this. She gives her a jar that says just add water. Now, usually I charge $500 for this, but for you, it's a gift. When the time comes, just add some salty quasar seawater to this jar. Pour it out on your farm, and whatever you pour it on will be yours. She says a spell over the jar. Instant food, instant love. Give the 8-armed lawyer a shove. Instant money will return. Just add water to this urn. When you're ready, just add water. Now make sure it's salty, nothing fresh, or your dreams will melt into nothingness. Rachel. Oh, thank you, Serafina. My mother would be so happy I met you. They hug, and Mr. Tamarack walks into the shop. Have you ladies seen a ruffian around here? He's absconded with magical property. No, but I'm missing some magical property. No, I'm new here. I don't know anything. Well, if either one of you see or smell anything, let me know. There's a $500 fine for absconding with magical property. Serafina, everything's $500. Rachel, I know. Rachel goes out. Jake is waiting. Hey, what are you doing? The ranger is chasing me. I was going to try to sell this pelt on the black market. Maybe she'll buy it. Elwood, that pelt belongs to Serafina. She's been looking for it for weeks. That's not my problem. I need the money. You need a real job. That too. I just don't know what I can do. Rachel, you could pick plums. Nah, you'd eat more than you'd pick. You could pick baby carrots. Jake, I'd like to do something to work with my hands. I'm sick of always doing the wrong thing. Rachel, well, I know how it is to be desperate for money. I can't believe I'm saying this, but if you do the right thing, the magic will come. Don't let your soul be lazy. Jake shrugs. I'll think about it. Behind them, Grendel approaches the urn, which is sitting on the ground. Grendel, she thinks she'll put a spell on us. Well, I'll put a counter spell on her. He puts a sign, just add water, on the urn and says, here's one of my best. If fresh water is added to this urn, her mother will come back to life as a monster. Mr. Snakewood would be so happy with me. He says a spell over the urn. Instant fear, food, instant love. Give the Grim Reaper a shove. Instant life will return. Just add water to this urn. When you're ready, just add water. Now make sure it's fresh, not that salty quasar sea, or your dreams will melt into nothingness. I wish I could get a spell to work with salt water. There's enough of it around here. Act 3, Scene 3. In the Nether Regions Tavern, karaoke night. Rachel and Jake sitting at the bar. Walter standing. Karaoke singer, you walked into the nether like you were walking onto a yacht. Your straw hat strategically tipped below one eye. Your basket full of organic apricots with one eye on the Seahawks game. You Crow Bay hoodie, you look like iRobot. Pay it forward, pay it up, pour it down, fill it up. Pay my tab, buy me a beer, I'm too drunk, I'm out of here. Mic drop. She picks it back up. Hey, Katie, do I owe you anything? She stumbles out. Rachel and Jake sitting at the bar drinking beer. Rachel stands up, pulls out some oysters, shucks one, and Walter walks in. She passes the oysters to Walter. Where does City Girl learn to do that? Rachel, a farmer taught me. Jake, yeah, I saw you. You and George seem kind of palsy. Walter, now you're a local. Gotta switch sides, fall in love, and change your name to the name of a tree. And if you give up your seat, you lose it. Crow Bay rules. He sits on her bar stool. Rachel laughs. Walter, hey, you have mellowed out here in the few weeks you've been here. When you first got here, you would have bit my head off for that. Rachel shucks another oyster and passes it around. Jake says, you'd be juniper. Rachel, what? You're bitter, but distill you down and you got some floral characteristics. You just need some local botanicals to sweeten you up. Rachel cynically, aw, you're sweet. Song, what's your new name? Walter, what's your new name? What's your new name? When you come to this island, you must choose. What have you lost and what have you gained? Never look back on everything you could lose. When you start a new life, change your name, change your mind, change your soul, choose a rock, choose a road, choose a flower or a tree, choose a new face to set you free. What's your new name? Rachel says. What's your new name, Walter? Walter, Rachel laughs. Well, then what's your old name, Walter? Walter, you're okay, kid. I am descended from oak trees, so my given name was Oakley, but then a sulky kissed me, and I looked all googly-eyed, just like you do now, and I turned into a human for a while. This place just gets stranger and stranger. He'll become a tree again, Jake says, when his sulky dives back into the quasar sea. That's sad. Unless he can find another love, that is. Walter raises a beer. Just waiting my turn. Let's change the subject. How's that farm? What are you going to do? Rachel, well, I cut my nails and now they're dirty all the time. I toss my heels. George is teaching me how to prune trees and compost and work the garden. We're hoping to turn the beach into an oyster farm, and I'm experimenting with making my own bagels. Jake, wow, you're a grown-up. Rachel, that's exactly what I wanted to avoid. Walter, me too. Jake sings, you get to choose. Walter, you get to drink booze. Jake, you're a grown up. You get to go to bars. You get to crash cars. Both, you're a grown up. Rachel, you get to have sex. You get to bounce checks. You're a grown up. You're a grown up. You're a grown up. You get to fight the powers that be. You get to seek thrills. I get to pay bills. You're a grown up. When the waves are looking dark, just remember there's a spark inside you to remind you to follow your bliss. Katie the bartender, pay your bills, seek your thrills, drink some booze, you get to choose, have some sex, love your ex, go to bars, but don't crash cars. Listen to yourself for a change. Speak for yourself, old timer. Everybody tells you, go to school, get a job, get a wife. Well, I did that life. Listen to yourself for a change. People tell you, fall in love, have some kids, rise above. I wish I did that. I wish I did. Walter, but no matter what you did, don't feel bad about what you miss. Listen to yourself today. That's what listening is. Takes one to know one. They say go corporate. They say find a guy. I was on that track. How miserable was I? I don't want all that. I finally know what wanting is. I'm going to be a grown up today and manifest this. Serafina walks into the bar carrying a dark fur coat. Oh, here she is. Jake, love your exes, even if they're from Texas. She's not so bad. What she got there? Katie, pour me a stiff one, honey. I got some thinking to do. She puts her fur coat on the bar. Serafina, it's your pelt. Walter looks up and jumps up. Sarah, it isn't. To Jake, that's the thing we found, that stinky seal coat. I thought you were going to sell it. Jake, yeah, I decided she needed it more than I did. Rachel, this guy's breaking my shoes. You actually did the right thing. George walks in, sidles up to Rachel. I'll have to be leaving you soon, Serafina says, embraces George. Walter, I guess it has been 7 years, almost to the day. We fell in love, got married, and divorced pretty quick. Serafina, although at the time it seemed like eons. They lean into each other. Katie, so glad you found it, Sarah. Now you got to dive back into the quasar sea soon. Rachel, and go home? Katie, precisely. Sarah, but I have 2 homes. I'll be back. 2 jobs or 2 houses, Jake says. Hate to admit it, but now it's happening. I might miss her a bit, even though she's made my life hell. Even though I made your life swell. That too, Walter says. Serafina, I'm a local wherever I go, I guess. Rachel, well, you'll always be welcome on our farm. George, our farm? Rachel, if you'll stay and be my farmer, I'll stay and be your farmer's wife. Serafina, George, and Rachel embrace. George, when do you have to leave? I think I'm gonna cry. Serafina, don't cry, my dears. Let's enjoy it while it lasts. Wherever you go, whatever you do, give the gift of yourself. Live life like you. I've lived life fully these past 7 years. There have been laughter. There has been tears. I took the flowers. I took the jeers. I lived like a local. Katie, 4 more beers. Live like a local. Get drank. Live like a local. Food bank. Wait your turn. Fall in love. Then get burned. Get sick of the rock. Make a move. Then return. Live like a local. I've done it all. No heat, no toilet, paint a rock, raise a kid, move away, then come back, live like a local, make a mushroom mandala, do it all, have a potluck, grow a garden, learn to sail, get a dog, move up off island, then return, live like a local, have a ball, fall down a well, make some shit to sell, fly a rainbow flag, reuse a reusable bag, learn tarot, cast a spell, dig some clams, cure a ham, grow some pot, love what you got. Learn the uke, write a book, hit a deer, that's 5 this year. Move off island, then return. It's the cycle of island life. Live like a local by doing nothing, nothing, nothing. You're doing it all. All clap. George, Serafina, we're gonna miss you. Walter hugs her. I'll be all right, Oakley. For a while, I thought you might turn back into a tree when I left. Walter, but that's what will happen if I don't find another wife. Sarah, no, the legend says if you'll turn back unless you find another love. Walter, what do you mean? Sarah, you've got Jake now. You do everything together. He's your chosen family. I guess you're right. We kind of take care of each other, but I won't really know until you actually dive back in. I may still turn. It may not be enough. So it's not so bad being a tree. You're just as stubborn either way. What happened, Seraphina? How did you find it? It all started last night. I noticed the mice in my cabin were scurrying around more than usual, gathering seeds in the middle of the night. Rachel, mice? They are the baby seals of the land, like little sisters to me. They tell me things. And then this fine young man showed up on my doorstep, points at Jake. Rachel, this lady's breaking my shoes. And I remember that it's a super blue full beaver moon coming up that sets it off. That sets it off, and the vortex at low tide with a full super blue beaver moon. That's my moment to go. Vote for no GMO. Everyone in the bar cheers. George, that's next week. Rachel, that's the day I have to pay Snakewood $103,457.85. I've cashed in my 401k, got the little my grandma left me, and talked to the bank, but I still need $30,000, $30,398.76. That's a lot, Serafina says, but don't worry. Remember, the magic will come. Yes, but I don't know what else to do but go forward. My mother always told me in her last years to follow my heart. I guess I'm finally starting to listen to her. I think I'm really ready to scatter her ashes too. Serafina, would you mind if we made your last day on land my mother's first day in the Quasar Sea? She looks at the urn on the bar beside her. I'd be honored. George, and that's next week. That's our wedding day. George, what? Everyone looks their direction. Rachel, let's do it. I've decided to be part of this place, so if I'm going to get married, have a kid, send that kid to forest school, run an orchard and an oyster farm, open a restaurant, get divorced, love my ex, start a film festival, and write a book about it, I'd better get started now. Rachel gets down on one knee. George Felicity Ana Maria Consuelo Rivera Guevara, will you marry me? Wanna? George, I do. They kiss. Everybody cheers. Let's make it a potluck, oyster feast, wedding, funeral, sulky dive fundraiser, and save the farm. The five cheers with their beers. Fina says, all in favor, say, Om. End of scene. Act 3, Scene 4. Wedding day. Serafina and Walter and Jake at the beach, setting up for the wedding. The scene looks out onto the beach with water, picnic tables to the side, and altar for the wedding. Jake and Walter are moving tables around. Serafina is at a table, opening bottles. Jake sets up a big pot that says donations, sign that says save the farm. Jake sings Driftwood. I was looking for a place to be, nowhere seemed to capture me. They say that home is in your soul, but inside me was a great big hole. Walter, I was a tree that lost its roots in a storm or just from growing old. Serafina, driftwood, floating through life, through joy and strife, driftwood finds its own way. Walter, now I'm touching beaches, floating through kelp, birds singing advice when they land on me. But the seas have been kind, rough or soft. Waves carry me true, with the hope I'll find my beach someday, and the tree growing there is you. Jake, I don't know who you are, maybe you are me. I feel myself unfolding in that line between earth and sea. Gray and smoke, mist and pale, the oysters are patient, listening to my tale. What's this, a seal that's lost its life, its family? No, this seal skin came for me to call me home, to cover me. Warm and soft, I'll stitch it up. I'll take a breath and dive into the ocean's cup. Then find my way, swim and twirl through the grays and blues. I'll venture back in time to find my world. Driftwood, floating through life, through joy and strife. Driftwood finds its own way. Walter, sometimes we wish we could be here and there, but the fate of life is to be one place at a time, to find the calm eye of the tide pool and live there for now. Driftwood, floating through life, through joy and strife, driftwood finds its own way. People start arriving during the song. All are dressed in soft grays. whites and soft blues. Alistair Rough-hewn, the Scottish lager who drinks only biggity baseborn beer from the Bearded Brewster Brewery, walks on, playing his bagpipe. Rachel and George enter the stage left. We are gathered here together, Alistair says, to witness the wedding of this lass and this lass. If there's anyone with reasons why these two should not be joined, let them speak now, or you'll have to deal with me. Snakewood, I object. All gasp. Walter, what's your objection? Mr. Snakewood, these two ladies don't know anything about farming. They don't know anything about money. They don't know anything about marriage. And honestly, obviously, they don't know anything about love. Who invited you anyway? George, aside to Rachel, it's a potluck wedding. The whole island is always invited. Grendel sneaks up to the two urns sitting side by side downstage left. He pulls out a bottle of water that says fresh and pours it in the jar that says just add water. Stops to count the money and save the farm can to herself. Mama, what am I going to do? I've done everything I can and everyone's been so generous. We're almost there, but still not enough money. Rachel turns around and goes to the beach, off to stage right, dips some seawater, returns and not looking, accidentally pours it into the urn instead of the jar. They look alike. Your objection is denied, Walter says. I have been wishy-washy too long, waving this way and that, but now I'm putting my root and my foot down. This wedding will go forward, and this farm will be theirs. I've been saving my pennies and I decided to retire. Me and Jake are gonna work plucking and shucking oysters, plucking plums and shucking oysters, and I put my meager savings into the pot. Oh, Walter, that makes us almost there. I feel it. You're not gonna become a tree. See, Juniper, magic will come. As I said, Alistair says, we are gathered here together. Rachel, yes, George, I will take you to be my lawful wedded wife. And George says, I will take you to be my lawful wedded wife. Alistair says, you may kiss the brides. Seraphina, crying, oh, how lovely. Rachel, one more thing. As part of our wedding, I want to pour this potion of abundance on our land in the hopes that it will bring forth abundance. She takes her mother's ashes and pours it out. Wait, that's your mother in there. Oh, my mother? Oh, I can't believe it. I poured out the wrong urn. Grendel. Oh no, he drops the deed on the ground. Light flashes red, noises rumble. From the ashes, Rachel's mother arises, armed like a monster. Rachel picks up the deed. Mother, you really are a monster. George, in a good way. Madrona, now I'm really a local. She goes to hug Rachel, who hugs her back. Madrona takes the urn. Snakewood lunges at Rachel. Snakewood, give me that deed. Madrona tosses the jar onto Snakewood. Oh no, Grendel says. Ooh, I feel different. Madrona says, that's because now you're mine. Snakewood sidles up to Madrona. Well, it could be worse. I could have 3 jobs. Buster, to make up for what you've done, you'll have way more than that. Madrona and Rachel together. Don't let your soul get lazy. Seraphina, well, no surprise. The spells got mixed up. That's magic on this mixed up island. The tide's coming up. I must go soon. Mr. Tamarack, hey, that's the pelt I've been looking for. Seraphina says, now it's mine and it's worth way more than $500. She twirls and magic lights happen. Madrona, honey, you and Snakewood come with me. I'll show you the ropes down there. Madrona says, I'll snap this guy into shape. Oh, Rachel and George, I'm so happy for you. George to Grendel, Walter, and Elwood. Get your shucking knives, boys, and shuck these people up some oysters. It's a Quasar Island funeral, silky dive, save the farm, oyster feast, potluck wedding. Dance music begins and they all dance. Curtain. Well, thank you for listening to this. I realize that, this play is probably too long. A lot of things need to be cut. Maybe things even need to be rearranged. But if anyone is interested in helping me write music for this, collaborate with me on any part of it. I am totally open, and I do believe in the project, and I think it would be really fun to see on stage and fun as performers to perform. So thank you for your time, and I wish you the best, and break a leg.